Under caution again at Martinsville, Virginia. One of our chase contenders involved, 17 of Matt Kenseth. Damage on the rear of his car. We'll update what happened a moment ago after we cover these pit stops. There's the leader, Eric Almirola, who, remember, had not pitted since lap 31. Headed down at 30 miles an hour. Jamie.
And that strategy played to their favor. They started 15th and took the lead. They're going to take 4 tires here for Eric Almirola. They're going to change the air pressure on the right sides only. Mike?
Jimmy Johnson still a little bit free, and they're going to take 4 tires and pull right side spring rubbers. Going to try to free him up just a little bit. 4 tire change here in a Sunoco, a full can of Sunoco race fuel on the 4018.
Tony Stewart get by. The 20 cars took only 2 tires. Tony Stewart, that's why he was able to gain 9 spots and go around Jimmy Johnson. Denny Hamlin likewise tire strategy. Martin Truex up 10, and Montoya got a very good car. Here's the damage on the 17. Let's show you what happened up in turn 3 a moment ago. The 78 car and the 17 car.
See, Matt Kenseth just gets real loose. I don't know if that tire went down the right rear before that, or whether this contact what blew the tire out.
Yeah, it looked like he just got in there maybe a little bit hard and started to wheel hop. You can see him lose it there. Get into Joe Nemechek, who's into the wall hard.
Well, Joe got his car torn up bad in that deal. He's got the worst end of that.
The 07 gets our All-State good hands move of the race. Now watch Clint Boyer get through this. He was about 5 cars back behind him.
Yeah, we were just talking about.
Stay low, come on. Stay in the gas, come on. Up high.
Yeah, nice move right there.
Come on, good job, buddy.
Wow, great move by Boyer, who was closer than we thought, only 2 cars back. So he gets the All-State good hands move of the race. And those kind of moves can possibly save not only a race, but save a shot at a championship. Back in a moment. Jamie McMurray currently leads the Tums QuikPak 500 in Martinsville. The top 6 drivers opting to stay on the racetrack. Bobby Labonte in the 43 car. There's Clint Boyer making a move underneath him to take the 2nd spot away.
He made that bold move like we saw Jeff Gordon earlier on Jimmy Johnson getting down into turn 1.
Yeah, Clint did a nice job there, and he missing that accident over there. We were just getting ready to talk about how he was kind of in a dangerous position before that caution came out of possibly getting lapped. So now he's up front.
How about Ken Schrader in the 96 car back in 5th position? Kenny languishing back there early on in heavy traffic. Oh, 3 wide. Watch Jimmy Johnson make a move underneath the 70 car.
Wow. He and Denny Hamlin split the 70 car there. You don't do that a lot. You split them sometimes, but you don't want to be 3 wide when you get to these corners at Martinsville. See a great battle here. Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson. Carl Edwards right behind him, along with Martin Truex.
Well, Jimmy's being really aggressive here. I know he's been good here over the years, but we're still not even 150 laps in, and he's driving this thing like it's the last 100 laps.
It's a great battle right here, two really good drivers here at Martinsville.
It's going to be interesting to see where Schrader goes. That's who's going to be able to come out of this in the better shape. I don't think they'll want, well, I was going to say they don't even want to go 3 wide again, but Denny Hamlin act like for a second he might want to, but Schrader moves up the racetrack. Jimmy Johnson to the inside.
Battling for 6th position and on the inside. Let's listen to Jimmy Johnson's radio.
Great. Jimmy, you said you didn't have the magic. I was trying to get you to lead me somewhere. What do you mean you didn't have the magic? What was wrong? I was, earlier it was just doing what I could and would get just a little bit from time to time. Didn't have anything really wrong. I just didn't have the magic.
That's kind of hard to adjust for. Not having the magic. That's why you heard Chad saying he was just trying to figure out what he was saying.
Yeah, and Jimmy's car's been so good here so many years, and he has too, that I think his expectations of it are pretty high, because everything we've seen him do, he's been able to run right back up through the pack and towards the front.
I think he's found the magic again, because his car is extremely fast right now.
We mentioned our leader, Jamie McMurray. He's the car that spun back on lap 81 to bring out the 3rd caution flag today. Very good car in Happy Hour. Was the best Ford, 5th overall in the final practice yesterday. There's the 20 car of Tony Stewart being shown in 3rd spot. Boyer is 2nd. Yes. There's McMurray and Boyer, then Stewart.
Sometimes you just have to not get too excited when things happen to you. And Jamie got spun. I'm sure he was upset that that happened because he was running up in third spot. But now he finds himself out in front. We see right in the middle of this mix here is your man, Juan Pablo, Andy.
There's my sleeper. He's making his way back up through there. If he'll just run right with that 24, he'll take him right where he needs to go.
Yeah, he's not quite up to my guy there, the 1 car, but he'll get there eventually. Yeah.
Just a few laps. Shannon?
Andy, I heard you talking earlier in the race about the fact that Juan Pablo Montoya, one of the reasons why he's good on this track is because of the fact that he's a road course specialist and the turns are very similar. Well, on the flip side of that, the team told me that he is so aggressive with those brakes that last time they were here at this track, their brakes were completely done at the end of the race. They're constantly coming over the radio reminding Juan Pablo Montoya, save your brakes.
You know, it seems the better that the brake systems get, and they've gotten so much better over the last 10 years, the better they get, the more the drivers try to take advantage of that.
You're exactly right. Yeah, as they came up with better stuff, things that stopped better, you could drive it in the corner a little bit further, and you could actually abuse them a little bit more if you had to be on down in the center and when you're in traffic like this.
Well, I tell you guys, you brought up a good point about Montoya. You got to remember one thing, guys. He's came from Formula One racing, IndyCar racing, where those cars are so light that they can drive them as hard as they want every single lap, deep into the corners, and no brake problems. And Andy Dale, as you guys well know, man, you just can't do that with these things.
Well, I guess as long as it's at the end of the race is whenever they're used up, you're okay. But, man, how do you know exactly? It's hard to tell as a driver just how much pedal is going away sometimes, isn't it, Russell?
It sure is, guys. And I'm seeing a lot of brake problems going on right now. A lot of wheel hopping going on. You know, we saw David Reagan in practice. He wheel hopped and crashed his car. The 17 car, Matt Kenseth, just then wheel hopped getting into turn 3, spun it around and crashed. And we got some type of problem going on with the 01 of Regan Smith, so it's pretty early with all these brake problems. Hey, and I better throw in Kurt Busch, too. He's had a brake problem.
They opened up their home to help parents in need. Now these heroes get the help they need to save their lives. ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition, all new tonight on ABC. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. Some of these cars are going to need some extreme makeovers when this day is over because they are pushing and shoving.
I think Tony Stewart's got a real problem with that splitter hitting the right front. I think they might have to address that issue before the day's over because that's just causing too much trouble.
Yeah, causing trouble too as we see this group car. But Tony Stewart took on 2 tires. I just am not convinced that that's going to work here. We see the 8 car here who came in as the leader last time. They had some trouble on their pit stop with the right rear. He's fallen back here too as they've gotten back up to speed. But the right rear tire changer really had quite a few problems, so he lost a lot of time on pit road.
This is 14th, 15th, and 16th. The 88, by the way, Earnhardt Jr. is in 13th position. The 18 of Kyle Busch moving in to this fray. Jimmy Johnson will take the 2nd spot away.
And once again, this car just really looks dialed in. I think you're right, Andy. Whatever that magic he was looking for, he might have found.
If you watch this 48 car, you don't see that smoke trailing out from under it like we've seen out of Tony Stewart and a lot of other cars going through the corner. They've got this car set just perfect. Mike?
Well, guys, they thought they had the magic before this race even started. Spoke with Chad Knaus this morning to ask him which car they were using. It surprised me a little bit when he told me this is not the car they had here back in the spring. Remember, that was a car that led well over 100 laps. Chad even said he felt like it was the best car on the racetrack back in the spring. So obviously I asked him, why not bring it? He said, this is the Richmond car. It's a lot better. I also asked him, as you size yourself up against the competition, who do you think can run with you? He said, well, I think our biggest competition today is ourselves. And it's starting to look that way, isn't it?
You just don't want to beat yourself here at a short track like Martinsville, and they are not thus far. Very smart for Jimmy Johnson. Worked his way back through traffic, back up front. He has now led twice for 43 laps. Here's a pretty good battle going on. Juan Pablo Montoya in the 29 car of Kevin Harvick. That is 9th and 10th.
See that back bumper kind of beat in on that 42 car. I wonder if that's happened with this battle. He's had some battle scars already.
Yeah, and these two have a little bit of history as far as beating and banging. And it was on a road course, I think, that they got into a little bit of that.
I think that was Watkins Glen a year ago.
I'm sure they've forgotten all about that, though, as Kevin Harvick tries to make the move to get on the inside of Montoya.
This is the last short track race of the season, so short track racing where rubbing is racing, as Harry Hogg said, and paybacks take place.
You just know that here that's going to be part of it. Contact's going to be part as we see Kevin Harvick try to outdrive 42 down into the corner and take that spot away. Dale Jr. trying to follow him right through.
I saw Montoya's glove out the window. I think he was just going to motion these guys by. That was a real smart move at this point of the race. That's the best way to get spun out, is to be holding up faster race cars.
Perfect example, Andy. You're exactly right.
Our leader is Jamie McMurray. By the way, the 0-1 of Regan Smith back on the racetrack after being in the garage area to replace that right front brake caliper. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.